All right. Good morning, guys. How you doing? Welcome to another live stream here on the channel. A lot of familiar faces. How we doing? Good morning. Good morning. All right. So, what are we getting this morning? We're getting that little push, right? We're getting a little push this morning. We have some key. Thought I heard something in my house. We have some key levels that we need to look at today. A little bit of a push, but nothing that there's one level that I need to see this Nasdaq over to make me feel a little bit more confident today. So I'd like to see us over a certain level, but as of right now, we're still not there. And then of course we have some stuff going on today, right? We have Mr. Jerome Powell. That is going to be talking today, which is most likely going to be causing volatility. We have Boeing earnings this morning, and then we have Tesla earnings after hours. So there's a lot of stuff going on. It probably will invalidate some of the technicals that we're looking at. We can never trust technicals 100% because of economic news. It's just how it works. So we have to be. That has to come into our trading plan, right? We have to understand that there's economic news, there's earnings, and it could invalidate some of our technical analysis. So that is something we need to understand today. So that's what we'll keep in mind. That is what we'll look at. We'll look at some charts. We'll look at, some of the holds that we've seen this week so far, some of the stocks that look pretty decent, and some very key levels that I want to see us get above. And that'll be it. And then we'll go over some of the tickers that you guys want to look at. So if you guys are a member of the channel, make sure to go to the membership tab and put your tickers in the Google Docs. All right. So we got that pulled up. Someone put, I think this is a joke because that's not a ticker. Who did this? Who put P-Hub here? Who did that? I guess we'll leave it for the meme. Kasim, thank you, sir. We're starting it off early with a $20 donation from Kasim. Thank you, man, so much. I think you caught a trade recently, right? I was talking to you about that. But thank you so much for helping out the channel. Very much appreciated. All right, so let's get started here. Yeah, P-Hub, the P-Hub ticker. Someone's a jokester this morning. So futures, I looked at it, I was like, I don't think that's a ticker. But I'll see if it is, because if I'm just, never seen it before. But yeah, no, that's not a stock. Maybe for some people. So futures, as always, economic and earnings calendar. So we got some big stuff there. Tesla higher highs. So Tesla has made higher highs yesterday, Monday to yesterday. So that's a good sign. Higher highs, higher lows. So make sure that we've got to keep an eye on that. Daily chart also at a very big level. So I'm not counting out the chance of Tesla getting some upside here, because I'll talk to you guys why on the chart. Microsoft 280 level, a key level that continues to hold there. I like Microsoft. I have some long dated calls on Microsoft. If you're not in the Discord chat, you're not aware of that. But I do have some long-dated Microsoft calls on about 4 months out. So I'm holding it. I like it. I wanted to take a small shot on something longer term to sort of take advantage of this drop and maybe catch a very overextended downside move. I could be totally wrong, right? I could lose this entire investment, but this is a risk that I'm willing to take. Of course, and I have a ton of Microsoft shares. Nvidia, can it break 235? This is a big level today, guys. 235 is a big level on Nvidia, level we must watch. Facebook above 300. This is another very key level on Facebook after a very big sell-off, which is very interesting to me. I continue to watch this 300 level. I think it's a very good psychological level to trade around, and I want to see if it holds. XLE, unbelievable. The energy sector is insane. It is continuously pushing higher pretty aggressively. So XLE, let's take a look at that. Apple, sitting right at the 100 SMA, guys. Apple has continued to outperform this market. It has continued to hold up in this market, and it's at the 100 SMA, and it's at the 20 SMA on the weekly chart. This is way better than almost every other tech stock. I don't think there's, I'm trying to remember. I mean, I've looked at a lot of tech stocks recently. I don't think there is one tech stock that is above its 100 SMA. I think Apple might be one of very few stocks that is above their 100 SMA. So this is important. I want to watch this. AXP, American Express, has some really good earnings continuation yesterday. Their earnings was very impressive if you read into their earnings. So I like AXP for continuation. Remember we talked about Visa MasterCard with the sympathy. We didn't really see that, which actually was quite surprising to me. I thought that we would see some of that sympathy move. And then finally, Costco is at a very big key level. And I want to see if this thing holds. I don't know if it's ready for upside, but it is holding really nicely, and I want to show you guys. And I also want to focus on the retail sector. So something that's to focus on yourself, guys, is the retail sector. It's been a little bit more resilient than most sectors. So watching those retail, like Home Depot had a big day. Costco's holding. I think probably Lowe's had a pretty big day. What's Walmart been up to? Walmart's been sort of sliding. Target's been holding over the last few days. So I want to watch these retail names and see how they hold up. All right. So that's my schedule, and then we'll get into the stocks that you guys want to look at. Let's go ahead and get started. So let's start out with the economic calendar. As always, let's make sure everyone here is aware. 1-800-Flowers. Yeah. Guys, I'm not saying it won't do well. I'm just saying that, to recap that whole thing, just stay away from, stick with the good stuff. FOMC statement and Fed Chair Jerome Powell news conference. That is today, guys. And that is going to cause a ton of volatility at 2 o'clock. So please be safe. Every single FOMC statement, I have someone that messages me, what happened? Why is the market moving so much? If you guys are trading in the stock market and you do not know when an FOMC statement is, you are totally doing a disservice to yourself. You need to understand what is going on the economic calendar. So, 2 o'clock Eastern, FOMC statement. There will be a lot of volatility. Do not have a huge position in your portfolio around this time unless you are just wanting to gamble. And that is not my decision to make. So, that's 2 o'clock. That's FOMC statement. That's going to be big. And then today, we have some earnings, which are right here. All right. So, yesterday, we had Microsoft, Texas Instruments. These are the two big ones. Microsoft dropped, and then at like 6:30 p.m. Eastern, it went straight back up. I'm assuming they said something on their earnings call that I missed. But Microsoft is back to where it was. It's slightly higher today. Microsoft's at 301, which is absolutely wild. It did not beat the expected move, though. So I'm assuming this morning all of the contracts are going to be losing money. You're going to get the classic IV crush this morning on Microsoft. The expected move was about $20, and we are at 301 from 288. So we only went up about $12, $13. So we needed to see 20. So that's that. This morning we have Boeing. I think I saw an article saying that they finally turned positive cash flow, which is interesting. I don't think Boeing's really reacting off of it. We can take a look, but I think Boeing is basically flat. And then Tesla after hours, guys. This is massive. So, get ready to see what happens here on Tesla in the after hours today. Las Vegas Sands is interesting, LVS. And then after close tomorrow, Apple, that's big as well. Yeah, the Azure guidance, Azure, whatever, however they pronounce it. Yeah, I think that I did hear some of that. What you do if you have Thinkorswim, you go to all products, right? All products. You go to Tesla. And then right here, guys, this yellow box is the expected move. So $71.75 is the expected move on Tesla right now. You will have to get a larger move than $71 on Tesla to either the upside or the downside for any options to appreciate, or they will be crushed by implied volatility. So let's just theoretically say Tesla closes at $9.50 today. If the expected move is $71, it will need to go up to $1,021 for any call options to appreciate. So this is a very massive, expected move on Tesla. That is 7.5%. Usually it's around 4 to 5. So the market makers are pricing in a lot more volatility. So this is not the year to be trading calls and puts on earnings. It's even more working against you. You need a 7.5% move in your direction if you are trading calls or puts into earnings. It's just not a good thing. All right, so that is that. Let's go ahead and let's start off with Tesla. So this chart is very interesting to me, I will say, guys. This is one of the few charts that has officially made a higher high. And I sort of like this. You guys can see right here, this is a key 935 level. You can see 1, right? 2 resistance, 3 resistance. And then what did we do? We made a higher high this morning, guys. This is very interesting to me. I think this is setting up a trading opportunity for sure. You can see we are in a little bit of an uptrend, higher high, little breakout of this top resistance this morning on this push. I like this. I like this quite a bit. So I think, I'm definitely going to be watching Tesla today to see if it catches any momentum. I would like to see Tesla maybe up to this 984. I don't see much here to reject this area. I think right now we're finding resistance at the lows of these candles right around 960. Let me go ahead and put a line there. Right around this 960. You can see a little bit of previous support turning into resistance this morning. If this can get above this level and get some momentum, I'm thinking you get a push into this 980 today. You can see right here these previous lows. That's the level I'd be watching. However, this will have to happen pretty quickly because I don't think it is going to happen, near 2 o'clock. That's the problem you have because 2 o'clock is Jerome Powell. So, this is going to be tough to time. I'm not going to try to, get it perfectly today. I'm just very interested. I'm definitely going to be watching Tesla today because this is a higher high and this is the sign of a trend change. And I'm definitely going to watch that. You have to hold 935 today, guys. If you see Tesla drop back below 935, it's probably going to fill this gap back to like 920. So you have to hold 935 today. If we go to the shorter term time frames, you can see this 935 level even better, right? You can see, support or resistance, and then resistance here. So all in this area, you need to see that hold. If you get a pullback, you need to see that bounce off that level. So that is what I'm watching today on Tesla. The next thing I wanted to show you is, this is what I'm talking about. Team No Nukes. This is if you probably weren't here in the morning, in the start of the stream, but everything we talk about, guys. Now that we have some more people in here, how many do we have? 7. Okay, we have a good amount of people now. We're gonna do technicals today, right? We're gonna look at the charts. We're gonna get ourselves familiar with what to look at because that's part of we need a plan, right? We at least need some type of plan. We can't just go into today blinded. But you have to understand at 2 o'clock, everything that we talk about right now could be totally invalidated. Powell will move the market, and it will not care about the 935 level in Tesla. It doesn't matter, right? So please understand that. No nukes is right. There's not going to be resistance or support, depending on where this market moves off of Jerome Powell, what he says. So please understand that. That is a very big caveat to everything we talk about today. So 935 on Tesla, higher highs. I like it. I'm watching it. I want to see if I can get some scalps maybe. The last thing I want to show you here on Tesla, guys, is this is a very interesting level on the daily, I will say. Every single time Tesla has these lower wicks, it pushes higher, and I want to see if that stays true. Does that stay true, right? Lower wick, higher, 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 big lower wick here. Do we get something, right? Do we get a little something here? That's what I'm watching for. Because every other time it's done it. I'm not sure it's going to happen. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just sharing with you guys what I'm thinking. That is what I'm thinking. All right. That's Tesla. Microsoft. Very interested in Microsoft. I added more shares yesterday. I continue to add shares. I'll never stop adding shares. But Microsoft. First level, I'm watching. Welcome to the members, Siphon 10. Welcome. Thanks for the support on the channel, sir, ma'am, or sir. So 280, right? 280 is big. This is this level right here. This is where we held, right? That's a big level, 280. The next big level is 305. That is a very big level, right? 305 right here. That's massive. I don't expect us to get above that level unless we have some intense market strength. So you guys can see, here's the 4-hour chart, right? 4-hour chart giving us the after hours move, or pre-market move with the earnings. You can see we dropped down, instantly shot back up, holding this 280. I'm very interested to see what Microsoft does at 305. We're actually pretty damn close. Wow, I did not expect us to be at almost, yeah, we were at like 300 earlier. We're at 302 now. So interesting. Rate hike delayed. Are people seeing that news? I haven't seen that. But if that is what Jerome Powell says today, you guys better buckle up. And I hope you bought shares. Because if that's actually what they say, we're going to see some upside, I believe. So 305, that's a key level, right? Support, resistance. What happens here at 305? That's what I'm watching today, guys. If you're trading Microsoft, just be careful of this level. Be careful of this level. That will be a very tough resistance level. However, Microsoft has good earnings. It has a lot of momentum right now. If this continues, I would be very happy. I have some, I guess I'll just share it. I have some April. Let me pull it up. I love Microsoft long term. I'm not going to let this speculation scare me out of long-term success on Microsoft. It's a waste to even think like that. I have some April 14th contracts on Microsoft. So I'm holding these things. I'm going in with an amount that I'm willing to lose, and I want to see if Microsoft will come back. So I'm watching that on Microsoft, seeing if we get that push. Wells Franklin with the coffee money again. This guy, this is the coffee man right here. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Thanks for always supporting. Thanks for always being here. That's very awesome. So Microsoft's pushing right now. Holy crap. Pretty big push. 305, guys. That's the level to watch today. Let's see what we do around 305 because we are pushing right now. Look at this. Holy crap. That's impressive. If this gets to 308, guys, call options might actually start to appreciate if this does get to 308. It's a little bit of a stretch. That's what it needed for the expected move. But if it does get there, call options might start to appreciate here. So watch Microsoft today. Definitely looking for that continuation. Maybe we get something like this. Little push into 305, little pullback, and then maybe, a work back higher, something like that. So just watch out for the 305. I would not chase this thing. If you do see a big pop over that level, if you see this today, right? If you see this and you start to consolidate here at 305 for like 10, 15 minutes, that could be a beautiful play. If you get this, that's a beautiful play, right? If you get that hold above 305 today, that would be massive. So I would definitely watch that today. All right, cool. Nvidia. Guggenheim upgraded micro. Are we getting upgrades? I mean, why would you not upgrade Microsoft? I mean, Microsoft's just, it's insane, man. It's a bulletproof stock. All right. So, Nvidia. I love this hold that we have seen so far. I love this hold at 208. You see previous resistance, it's turning into support, and you can see the reaction turning into support, right? So I am watching this here. I'm watching to see, can Nvidia hold this 208? I'm not quite sure it's ready for upside. It doesn't seem that ready for upside, but it's interesting. At the very least, I want to watch it. Big volume increase here, right? Big volume increase, a sign of capitulation. A lot of volume on the downside. Watching to see if this starts to reverse. Now, I'm not sure if it does, guys. I want to say, don't just get excited today because the market is up in the morning. Oh, yeah, we never reviewed the futures, did we? All right, we'll go back and do that. I don't want to say, I don't want to be too bullish today, but I will say if there is any continuation, I want to try to catch it. But we need to understand, this is a little bit of a change in the direction, right? A little bit of, I'll go to the futures, guys. I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm getting too excited. A little bit of change in direction, right? Look at Nvidia. Change in trend. You see this downtrend? Look at what's happening right now, right? Look at what's starting to happen. You're starting to get a little bit of a double bottom. Little bit of a double bottom here. So watching that Nvidia double bottom, you guys can see right here. Very nice. And then I need to see this over 235. 235 today. That would be a very nice push right there. If you can get over 235 today, that is a higher high. And that is something that I would love to see if it can continue. So 235 today, guys. That is what I'm looking to see. Because that would indicate a higher high, and I believe that will push some buying pressure into this stock. So look for that breakout. Look for that 235 higher high today. If we can hold above that level today, I think you are on, a little bit of a, I think you are starting to do a little bit of a trend change here. So that's what I'm watching. Of course, 2 o'clock will change everything. We'll see what happens, but I am watching that level. All right, so for everyone freaking out about the futures, here we go. Futures, Nasdaq. Let's grab a little bit more time here. There is one thing that happened massively yesterday. What was it? Right? We talked about it here on the live stream. What happened yesterday that was massive? We made a high, or we held a higher low, right? That is exactly what we wanted to see yesterday. We came into yesterday and we said we do not want to see lower lows be formed on this market. If we come into the next day and we get lower lows, that is the same exact downtrend that we have seen, and we do not want to see that. However, what did yesterday do, right? It made a higher low. This is very interesting. This is a different reaction than we have seen on the rest of this downside move. We have not seen a higher low. This is the first higher low, and I believe this is starting to change a trend. At least it's starting to change some short-term momentum in this market. I'm not saying this is going to last. I'm not saying this is the bottom. But what I'm telling you is that this could present tradable opportunities, because this is something that a lot of people are watching, right? This is not just some, hoopla, that people don't care about. This is very interesting. And this is something that I think people are going to be watching. So if you get this breakout today of 14.5, I believe you're going to see some good buying pressure to the upside. I really do believe it. Because if you get that push, that is a higher high over the last 3 days of trading. And I believe you will see a pressure of buyers step in above this 14.5. But you need to get over this 14.5. If you get over that 14.5, I think maybe you have room up to around 14.750, maybe 14.8. And then the next level is your 15,000 psychological level, right? That's it. Right there, 15 psychological. If you can get over this 14.5 today, that is going to cause buyers to step in. I think you move right here into 14,750, 14,800, and then 15,000. If you start to see this move, guys, it's going to be an interesting week. It's going to be a week of people wishing they would just buy the dip and dollar cost average into stocks. And you're going to see a lot of people say, hey, maybe I should have bought the dip here. Never fails, man. Never fails. But yeah, we're at 14.5 right now, right? There it is. 14.5, right on the dot. So let's see what happens today. Right on the dot, 14.5. So that's the big level today, guys. If you see that, I'll be very happy because yesterday I bought even more shares in M1. I actually took a $1,000 portfolio loan on M1. If you guys are not aware, actually, for anyone that's interested, I'm now an M1 affiliate because I like it so much. I applied to be an affiliate. So hopefully there's some cool stuff they'll offer for everyone that watches the live streams. But yesterday I took a portfolio loan for $1,000. If you guys are unaware, you can take portfolio loans on M1 at 2%. At 2%. And you pay I think I'm paying like $3 a month. So I'm all about it. I mean, I can afford the $1,000, but it's just instant liquidity in M1. It's awesome. So I bought more shares yesterday with that, and we'll see what happens. But 14.5 today, we're over it right now. That's the Nasdaq. 14.5, 14.750, 14.8, and then 15,000, guys. Those are the levels to watch. Today, if you get a push over 14.5, you need to turn it into support. If that turns into support, I believe this market is going to find upside. Link for M1. Let's pull it up. I don't want to show you my password now. That's not a good thing. Here we go. All right, there it is. So yeah, if you go to borrow, you can see I took out another $1,200 in credit, and I pay $3.41 a month at a base rate of 2%. Hell yeah. Give me the money. So this is my long-term activity. Yesterday, bought $1,200 worth of stock. AbbVie, Netflix, Roblox, Home Depot, Tesla, Coinbase, Lulu, Microsoft, Caterpillar, AMD, Apple, Nvidia. Bought them all. Beautiful. If you guys are interested in using M1, here's my return. Obviously, it's red, guys. I shared this in my last video. Ugly, right? Ugly, ugly, ugly. But what do you expect? Short-term pain for long-term success. I'm not concerned about this number at all. I could care less what this number tells me. So if you're interested in M1, if you are, you get $50. You get $50 right away. Just right to your account to invest with. So, all right, that's the Nasdaq. This is the ES. ES is even stronger this morning. You can see we held this demand zone very, very nicely. Look at how strong this demand zone was. So very nice hold in this demand zone. You guys can see right around 4,300, right? Nice little support here. Turned into support again. Beautiful. That's just really clean stuff. If we go to the hourly chart, what you guys can see is right here. We made some higher highs this morning. Now, what is this market doing? Whoa, this looks really nice. So, higher lows, higher highs. If you go to the 5-minute chart, please listen to this. This is massive right here. What is this market doing right now? Why am I excited? Right? So look at this chart. All right, you see this line? You see this do you see this $4,400 line? You have the previous resistance. See these two resistance levels right here? Let's go to the 5-minute chart. Do we see this? Right? What just happened here? What did we just do with 4,400? We just turned 4,400 into support this morning. If that holds today, that is very, very bullish. If you hold 4,400 today, which was previous resistance on the hourly chart, that is very, very bullish. So that is interesting. That is what I'm watching. And we have to see. I want to take a step back, going with what M45 said. Today is not a day where you just buy it open because you think everything goes up, guys. We need to still be patient traders, still watch to see what the market's doing, still be disciplined. But we also need to at least take into consideration some of the technicals that we're seeing, right? We can't ignore this. We cannot ignore this. I know some people are overly bearish and they ignore this. Some people are overly bullish and they'll just buy calls it open, which is not the right thing to do. But you cannot ignore this right here, right? This is not something that you just blow off and you do not care about. This is when you either miss upside or you get burned to the downside, or you get burned looking for downside. So you can see, I get it, guys. Market creating bull traps, I get it. I'm totally for it. I'm someone that does not get caught in traps very often, and I'm very careful. However, you cannot ignore this right here. It's irrational to ignore this. You have to see a drop below this level if you want to play downside. I know everyone thinks the market's going to go down forever. I know everyone thinks the market just goes down and it's never going to go back up. But that is just not the case. So that is something you have to pay attention to today. 4,400, if that holds today, that is bullish. You can see it right here. Previous resistance into support. I understand that there is 2 o'clock FOMC. I already said it many times. If FOMC, at 2 o'clock, all the technicals we look at can be totally invalidated. I'll say it again. I understand that. I'm just sharing with you guys some of the moves that I have seen. There are bullish moves on this market right now. There are higher highs being built, and it would be a disservice if I do not show you that. So support. Big time support on the Dow, right? Massive. You can see this. This is our what is that? The quintuple. Well, I don't remember the number again. Right? Yesterday, quintuple is 5. You got your 5 bottom here, and you can see the push that we're starting to get. Right? We're starting to see that push that we are. I'm not bullish today. I am someone that doesn't let my emotions make me not believe that there are bullish technical factors on the market, right? I'm not going to let my emotions make me think that this is not an important hold here on the ES. If you look at this here and you say, oh, that's bullshit. It's going down. If that's your reaction to this, then you are being very emotional. If you look at this and say, hey, this looks like a very nice previous resistance into support, this could potentially be a bullish indicator to the upside. Let me go ahead and see if it holds today. If it does intraday, I'm going to look for upside because I know that is a bullish factor, right? I'm not going to say, this is upside, but I think this is fake and I'm going to buy puts it open. That's not how you trade. That is bullish. There's no if, ands, or buts about this. That is a bullish indicator. Now, I don't know if it holds, but it's bullish. So you need to understand that, right? You can't ignore that. That's how you miss rallies. So you have your 4 hour on the Dow. You have your hold at 33.8, right? You have your hold here on the daily chart. Very nice. If you go to the 30-minute, you can see we are starting to make higher highs right in this area. You guys can see resistance, support, resistance. What is it doing this morning? It is turning it into support. Right here. Right? Where did we bounce off of? We pulled back, we retested it, we bounced higher. That is something you need to pay attention to, right? That is your level this morning. If you hold above this 34.4 right here, you have to watch that level today. 34.4. Yes, I think it's very smart to wait for confirmation on FOMC, Billy. I think that's very smart. Correct. I would not buy long, I wouldn't buy a day trade that you're going to swing into tomorrow this morning and just ignore the FOMC. That's also very foolish. So I'm not saying, I want to make sure everyone understands what I'm trying to get across here. I think people are not understanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this morning, there are bullish factors on the market. However, you don't just trust it with your life and just hold it through FOMC. That's just not smart. So you need to at least watch, but you need to understand that you are making bullish moves this morning. So very nice hold at 34,000. I would watch that, or 34.4. I would watch that on the Dow today. That is previous resistance into support. RTY. RTY. Here we go. RTY trying to hold up, right? You're sort of in no man's land here. And you need to see RTY is one that has not made higher highs, right? You are not making higher highs. Right here. Resistance, resistance, resistance. So is this as bullish as the ES today? I don't believe so, right? Because you can see the YM and the ES, they are above those levels. The RTY is stuck below it, right? And so is the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is stuck below it. So you can clearly see the difference here, guys. Nasdaq stuck below key level. It's right there, right? It just rejected off 14.5 as well. Important. Keep that in mind. RTY stuck below this level. Very key level, 2040. However, the ES turned it into support and the Dow turned it into support. So the ES and the Dow look better than the Nasdaq and the Russell. There you go. That's the futures. Hopefully that gives you some idea of what to look at today. Don't ignore technical factors, but don't get overconfident in either direction. That's how I'm approaching today. I'm understanding that there are some bullish technical factors, but I'm not going to just be irrational and buy call options and just let them go to zero. Right? That's not how you trade. So you still have to be patient. You still have to be careful, but you can't ignore the uptrend that has started here. You can't ignore the higher lows that were put in yesterday, and you can't ignore the higher highs that are being put in on a few stocks. Right? You need to at least pay attention to that. All right. Nvidia, we were talking about 235, right? That is the level that I want us to look at today. Right here, 235. Watch out for that. That would be the level that you need to watch today. 235. All right. Facebook was the next one up on the stream. You guys can see. Here's your key level on Facebook, right? Right around this little 308, 309, right? Right in this area. So you have a lot of charts that are sort of making pretty easy tradable, levels, right? Because if Facebook does not get above this 308, 309, then I'm not going to be looking for upside. You have that, and then you have maybe some resistance at 311, at 315, right? So you have to watch out for some of these levels to the upside, or if the Nasdaq rejects today off 14.5, which is very possible, I would assume that that's what happens in the morning. I would assume we get a little bit of a pullback off 14.5 if we open up at that level, which it looks like we sort of are. If you do, maybe look for that previous high resistance, right? You guys can see. And that goes for Nvidia as well. So if we let's play devil's advocate, right? If the Nasdaq opens up here and rejects off 14.5 and gives us a little morning flush, then you have some very nice levels to play off of, because you have Nvidia at this previous resistance, and this could be a stock you look to play to the downside, right? If you get that morning flush, maybe filling the gap overnight. Same thing with Tesla. If Nasdaq pulls back, maybe you need to see a pullback on Tesla, maybe to fill that gap. That would be I would make sure I understand that scenario this morning, because you are opening up at resistance on the Nasdaq. You can already see what is happening here early morning. So 14.5 is the resistance level that you do not want to see us having nasty rejection off of. That would cause that downside. So you're right there. All right. Did we do Facebook? Yeah, we did. I want to see Facebook stay above 300, right? Fed's at 2 o'clock. Who knows, Scott? I wish I could tell you, man. If I could tell you, I would be a millionaire. Probably a billionaire, but I can't. 300, that's the level I need to see Facebook hold above to stay bullish, or to stay at least comfortable with its consolidation. XLE, unbelievable move. Just insane. Look at this thing. Look at this perfect retest. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's just nuts. Look at this stuff. So just a perfect pullback, turning previous resistance into support, and the biggest rally probably of this entire run yesterday on the XLE. Just a monster move on the energy sector. You guys can see right here. Look at this. And it's still continuing this morning. So two biggest stocks in the XLE are XOM, ExxonMobil. You guys can see ExxonMobil just shot through highs. Insane. And then CVX. Look at CVX. Huge move yesterday. Monster move. So watch those today, guys. CVX, XOM, XLE. Those are the ones I'd watch. Apple. Apple has been very, very resilient, and I'm very happy with it. Look at this hold at the 100 SMA. You can also see this is a little bit of a retest level. Very nice at 157. Previous resistance turns into support and is turning into support once again. That's perfect. That's textbook, right? Resistance, support, support. You can see a little bit of a push higher off of that, maybe 157. Also the 100 and the 100 SMA right here. If we go to the weekly chart, I want to show you guys something. You are putting in a very interesting candle on the weekly chart as of right now. You can see right here. This is the 20 SMA on the weekly chart. This blue line is the 20 SMA on the weekly chart. What has Apple done every single time it's pulled back to the 20 SMA on the weekly chart? It has bounced higher, right? It has bounced higher. Does that happen again? I'm not sure, but I'm definitely in for some share purchases here to see if it does. Looking for that bounce off the 20 SMA on the weekly chart. Not sure if it happens. Not saying it will, but that is interesting. That is not something I'm going to ignore. Powell's at 2 o'clock. Right here, retest. Loving that on Apple. Definitely watch that level, guys. American Express. Very nice continuation off earnings. If we start to see more earnings continuation moves, I would love that. You guys can see it was earnings yesterday morning, and then you got this very nice continuation move. Just be careful maybe around this 180 area. This seems to be some pretty tough resistance in the past. AXP. You guys can see a little bit of chop in here, and then you're starting to get into that 180 again. So I'd like to keep an eye on this, and keep an eye on it with MasterCard and Visa, some of the other payment processors, with this continuation from earnings. But just wanted to bring that up today. Watch out for that 180 on AXP. All right, finally from me is Costco. I really like the level that it's holding, actually quite a bit. You guys can see right here, right? You guys see this Costco chart. This is the daily chart. This is a previous resistance, and you are starting to want to hold this 470 area on Costco. This is part of that retail sector, XLP, consumer staples. If consumer staples have any type of strength, I think Costco starts to bounce off this level. So I will want to watch Costco off this 470 area. I think this is a very key area. I think there's support in this level. And you guys can see right here, if we zoom in, you can start to see the curl is trying to occur, right? It's trying to start here. If we go to the 5-minute chart, we can see over the last few days, we have held this nice little bottom. We had a little bit of a higher low yesterday. So I'm not sure if it's ready quite yet, but it's definitely getting interesting here at this 470. Would love to see if I could play this back to like 520s. So I'm watching that on Costco, guys. Watching this little bottom that's starting to form here at 470. All right. That's what I have, but I want to go through the stocks that you guys want to look at. We have Shopify, Roblox, AbbVie, Coin, Home Depot, and Target, and then we'll jump out of here. If you guys could take just 1 second out of your day and press the like button, that would be fantastic. that would be fantastic. I also will like to show you guys the merchandise that I just announced. If you guys would like to rep some of these shirts, part of the live stream, here are some of the merch shirts that I created. So trend is your friend, transitory was transitory, and take profits. And then we also have the Options Insider desk mat, which is just sick, that I have here. It's pretty badass. So if you guys are interested in any of that, I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat. And you feel free to check that out. Shout out to Options Insider for sponsoring today's live stream. All right, let's go ahead and get started on the other tickers. So Shopify. That's cool, Michael. You're awesome, man. I don't even know why you're here. So Shopify, you guys can see a nice hold here at 880, right? 880, nice little area on Shopify that I want to see hold around this area. You can see support, and it's starting to come in again. So daily chart, you can see right here. If I go out, that would be a cool shirt of the desk mat. That actually would be pretty sweet. I should try to do that. So you guys can see support, little triple bottom, and it's starting to want to hold here. So I would like to see if that holds. You can see we're starting to get a little bit of a hold here. Nice little support area, higher low forming. Would love to see that hold. So right around here, I think if you get this 940 breakout, you could see a little bit. M1 link. I'll get it for you. After shop. 1 second. A little bit of a double top here on Shopify. This looks pretty interesting if you get this pop over 940. So I would watch that pop over 940 today on Shopify. Definitely. Let me get that link for you. I think Michael's been a constant person that just comes here and is sad all day, it seems like. So I'm not really sure. Here's the link for M1 Finance. All right, cool. So that's shop. Next is Roblox. You guys can see already, I mean, a lot of these stocks are making higher lows. It's something that happened yesterday, right? It's very interesting. A lot of these stocks making higher lows. I don't love Roblox in this environment because it's just not something that I think people are going to run back into. It's a very risky type of tech play. So I'm not sure if people are going to just sprint back into Roblox here, but this is definitely an interesting level. Look at this. Support. Back from IPOs. IPO open here. You can see a nice hold here again at 65. So interesting, very interesting. And you can see, look at what we did on the 5-minute. Look at that. I mean, that's pretty nice stuff, right? That's pretty nice stuff. You can see that green area of demand back from the daily chart, all the way back from the IPO levels. And look at what we did over the last 2 days. I mean, that's good stuff right there. So yeah, I mean, this is something to watch. You're probably going to want to see it over 71. So pretty interesting watch. That's 71, and this is like the 65 area. 65, 71. AbbVie, it's just held up, man. I haven't done anything here. I own the shares. I'm happy if it holds up. I was always watching to see if I could take. Seeing if I could take that downside, but AbbVie's a monster, man. This stock does not want to go down. So I'm going to make sure I trust, I'm not going to try to trade against it. So beautiful. Hold here, a little hold around this 130. I don't know, guys. My personal opinion on this one is I wouldn't trade AbbVie. I would invest in AbbVie. This is not a stock I would trade. This is an investable stock. If you want, I would just buy shares and forget about them. That would be my goal, right? That would be my goal. So I would invest in it. I wouldn't trade it. But yeah, you have a little bit of a hold here at 130, 131. That's what I would watch. Coinbase, I really don't have much for you, unfortunately. This is just correlated to Bitcoin. I mean, it's basically like me telling you where I think Bitcoin goes, which I have no idea. I don't pay attention to Bitcoin at all, guys. I haven't looked at a Bitcoin chart in probably 3 months. So not very interested. But Coinbase, you are getting a little push here up to 215 maybe. Previous support into resistance. But this is basically like guessing where Bitcoin goes. I'm not really in for it. Home Depot. I like the Home Depot chart. I do. I would have liked to see it come back down to this level around 340, but it almost did. It came down to 343. So keep an eye on the retail stocks and see if this can hold here at this 340. I would watch that, right? Right in this area. You can see previous resistance into support. See if this can push maybe back into the 360s, 370s. 370s, I'm sorry. That's what I would watch, right? There's going to be resistance up here. Absolutely. So just watch out for that resistance up there. It's an interesting area. A little bit hard to judge where it goes next. But I do like the 340-ish hold there. Target. I don't love this chart. It's sort of just, it's not really doing much for me here. You guys can see, maybe a little bit of a double bottom at this previous high. Maybe that's a watch. But then you got a lot of resistance up here around 225. Yeah, I don't know. Target just not really showing much as of right now. You guys can see, I mean, maybe you bottom here around this 215. Maybe. But then you got to watch out for this resistance at 225 and the 20 SMA that's curling back to the downside. So this is a tough spot for Target. If you want to invest in it, sure. But, right now, tough area here on Target. So watch that. Maybe you hold this double bottom, but I need to see more, right? I mean, this is not giving me any type of upside indicator, right? You need to see at least a push over 220, the previous green candle, and then you got to look at all these wicks. Like, this is nasty stuff, guys. I wouldn't get yourself involved in this. Look at all these wicks that are holding Target down. So even if Target gets this push, I would assume you see, a rejection there. So be careful on this one. I'm not really loving this. You need to see something move back up. I'm going to end it with Boeing because that's earnings, and I want to show you guys. If you guys are in the chat and you want to recommend tickers, I have to somehow, organize this live stream. I don't have all the time in the world. So I put them you have to put them in the Google Docs. Google Docs. You put them here and I'll go over it, right? I'll go over TSM for you, Kasim, because you went ahead and donated. So thank you so much for that donation again. I'll go TSM and Boeing here. So Boeing, 208 this morning. I wouldn't trade Boeing until you see this, guys. I wouldn't not trade Boeing until you see the breakout of this trend. I don't know. I don't really like Boeing's price action. It's always a fake out. I would be very careful. They did have earnings this morning. You are getting a little bit of a push. Maybe there's some scalps that are available here. But I just don't want to trade Boeing until it breaks out of this channel. I'd like to see a break over like 230s and give me some easy upside. I don't want to get caught in this because Boeing just traps a lot of people. Boeing traps a lot of people. So watch that. Last one, TSM for Kasim. Yeah, I'm watching, TSM's trying to hold this previous high. That's sort of what it's been trying to do, right? You've been trying to hold this previous high here. Resistance, 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 trying to turn into support. That's what it's trying to do. I think you need a little bit more confidence on this one before I jump in, right? It's just not really showing you the confidence just yet. It's trying. It's working. But it's just not really pushing just yet. So I would want to see probably a break over right around this 128.50. If you get that break, you can see right here. Let me go ahead and zoom in. If you get that 128.50 break, I think that sets off a little bit more of buying pressure. So it's working. It's trying. I don't know if it's ready. It's sort of just consolidating. So if I was someone that wanted to take a high probability trade, I would wait for it to show me something here. And then I would try to jump onto it. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you guys so much for, is that right? One viewer? Oh, 1,000. We got 1,000 viewers. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all 1,000 of you for coming to watch the live stream. If you guys could take 1 second, press the like button. Let's get to 500 likes today. Good luck today. Please be careful around 2 o'clock. Please do not have open positions that you're not willing to totally lose at 2 o'clock. Please don't get screwed today when you know something is coming, guys. You know it's coming. It's not just going to come out of the blue. Don't put yourself in a sticky situation around 2 o'clock. Be safe. Be careful. I hope tomorrow I can jump on this live stream and we can all say how happy we are with Jerome Powell. But who knows what happens. Do not try to guess what happens. Please do not try to guess what happens. If you try to guess what happens, you might be right and you might have a good payday. But that is just a bad habit to start and a bad way to trade. Wait for it to happen. A lot of traders do not trade on today. A lot of traders do not trade on Fed days. So volume might be light. You might get a lot of chop. And we'll see what happens today. But be safe, please. And if you guys are in the Discord chat, let's go ahead and start reviewing there. And we'll jump on our live trading. So thank you guys again. Press the like button, subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.